Alright, we're off to see the wizard. The wonderful wizard of fuck.
Yeah, we're gonna go capture... Or no, we already have an airship.
Now we're gonna use that airship.
We're gonna attack the flagship.
We're gonna sink their battle boat. Now all I can think of is, remember that time they tried to make a battleship summer blockbuster action movie?
It took me way longer than I watched it to figure out the reason why it was a battleship movie.
Oh, you know, I actually didn't watch it, so like, why?
Okay, so the whole premise of the movie is that it's just a regular Navy ship, and then they get trapped behind a force field,
of course,
set up by a bunch of aliens.
Of course, as one does.
And at one point, they're like, "How are we gonna shoot the robot or the alien robot thing if our radars don't work?" So then they put out a bunch of little like buoy things that are picked up on the radar, and then they just wait until one of those buoys move, and then they shoot at that buoy, and it's like, oh, shoot at buoy J10, whatever.
I could just think of and the reason I say this is because I immediately thought while we were talking about attacking the flagship, it's just someone turning around and saying in this really deep and serious voice, "They sank our battleship," and then that reminded me of the Battleship movie. And please tell me someone did that. Someone turned around and said, "They sank our battleship."
No, because they used correct terminology. They were surprisingly accurate.
As a Navy man, you would know.
Yeah.
I would never have known. I would just taken everything at their word. They could have called them fucking dinghies, and I would have accepted it. And I know what a dinghy is. It's a tiny boat.
They did take a dinghy out.
Well, of course they did. They were on big boats. Sometimes you gotta use the tiny boats.
It would seem the channeling circle has no effect at this altitude.
Tiny boats are less cumbersome.
I've got an awful headache. Better have you looked at in the infirmary. I'll come with you.
Alright, we have to stop them from killing everyone on the planet.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
I mean, they don't really want to kill you. They just want to convert you all into little batteries.
No, they want to convert everyone together into one giant battery. Remember that scene at the beginning of the game with Dr. House? Dr. House?
There you are.
I thought you were trying to make a joke. Then I realized that was his name.
No, his name was Dr. House.
Sure.
And he died because he got turned into a battery.
I was once able to soar like this whenever I wish.
By the way, there's a guy making videos on YouTube who's like an actual legit doctor doing reviews of medical shows.
That sounds amazing.
He did a review, or he did a commentary on the first episode of Scrubs and how surprisingly accurate it was to like his first day.
Never mind.
Oh,
yeah, I've heard that people who are medical interns and whatever, that Scrubs is pretty close to reality.
Minus all the
minus the literal obvious stuff that couldn't have possibly been real.
Yeah.
There was some stuff in that show that was quite obviously for hyperbole. Like that time,
all of his daydreams,
all the daydreams, the literal existence of Ted. Like Ted and him is pretty much hyperbole. Like I'm sure there's people like that out there, but Ted was definitely hyperbole.
You should go.
It's too bad that it took like fucking 8 seasons for him to get the best high five ever.
You're thinking of Todd. I'm thinking of Ted.
Oh yeah,
the pathetic guy.
You're right. I am thinking of Todd.
I don't blame you. I forgot about Todd until you mentioned the high fives. He was also hyperbole, but he was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, except remember that, what was it? Who was the air guitar band? It was Ted.
We found the Zenithra.
I think Turk
So it's
and
Tom.
someone else, right? Was it Turk?
Yeah, it was Turk and someone else.
That the air guitar band was fantastic.
I like Ted's acapella group.
Dude,
Didn't Dr. Cox get them to fuck with that one guy by like going, I want my baby back. And they never said the ribs.
Yeah, it was like
I forget
Dr. Cox had that surgery where they snip one of the connecting lines, or they snip and remove one of the connecting lines between like your balls.
A bypass or some
Yeah.
shit. Or a vasectomy?
Yeah, vasectomy. Yeah,
And I think that
and his vasectomy didn't take, so then his ex-wife got pregnant again,
ships were
and so they paid Ted and his acapella group to sit down and like while the guy was tied to the chair to sing the song and never say ribs.
I think the exact line was, I didn't pay them to say ribs. It was either I paid them to not say ribs or I didn't pay them to say ribs.
I paid them to not. My favorite Dr. Cox line though is when
All of
they're-
them? Gotcha.
They're looking at the X-ray for some dude, and there's a light bulb in the X-ray, and he goes, either this guy shoved a light bulb up his ass, or his colon has an idea.
I love all of like Dr. Cox is like such a good character.
Yeah, he is.
See, this would be so cool if Gaius was like on your team for like this one fight.
It would have been cool if it was just like a Jude Gaius team right now.
You can have that in the sequel.
I could.
I could let you play that on your own time though. I've beaten that game like 6 times or some shit. It's actually like pretty short. It unfortunately has the problem of it's padded out with bullshit. Like I like the second game, but it has a lot of flaws.
So I found out that
I will fulfill my mission, no matter what.
one of our friend Lawson plays Monster Hunter 4,
Uh-huh.
and for me that's like 2 Monster Hunters ago, and that's like forever. And so I was like, yeah, maybe I'll go back and play it, and then maybe one day me and him will team up. So I went back to play it just
Play it.
to play it, and oh my god, there's like just from Monster Hunter 4 to Monster Hunter Generations, which is that's Generations is the one right after 4.
The 5th one.
Yeah, there is so many like tweaks that they made to things that make it so much better to play that it was baffling when I was trying to play like my regular dual blades gameplay, and I was missing movement options. Yeah. Oh, I was about to say like crash into it, sink it. Yeah.
No. Remember, they're taking it.
They could have.
Beautiful anime.
Well, all they had to do was sink the ship, and it would have been done. It would have been mission complete.
Because remember, they have to get the 4 back or whatever.
Oh yeah. There's such a non-thing in this game that sometimes I forget that's part of the objective.
They are a thing actually. Once you get them back. They become attacks for Mila. Like you can summon them in battle as attacks. They're not big super.
I honestly
super attacks.
thought that after this, like this whole like bit of the game, that they were just gonna be gone.
No. You get them as attacks for Mila, eventually. They're not big, super flashy attacks, like super moves, but they are like attacks that you
I
can
assume
use.
that once you have them all, though, you can do one giant mystic art that has all of them in it. Darn it.
Nope. Well, that's in Tales of Vesperia for the PS3 version, where once you get all of them, Estelle will be able to summon them all in her supreme elements.
I seem
Mystic
to have
art.
regained my powers
Her
thanks to
new
your
mystic
power.
art for that version of the game.
Imagined you would possess such
I'm so
power.
mad that never came to
Of
America.
course, she's your big sis.
I mean, I still get to play it, but I don't get my
I
American
am
dub
happy to
cast,
lend
which I
my
fucking
power to
love.
your cause.
What are you planning to do?
I'm just remembering when I went to that, like, forever ago, I went to that one convention,
It sounds like we'll have to
and
continue asking for your assistance.
they were doing, I was sitting down listening to
Be safe.
the Yuri, what's his face panel?
Yuri Lowenthal?
Yeah, Yuri Lowenthal. He talks about how he got the call and how it was like, we know how how you played like the last main character. Yeah, we can't have you like we apologize that we can't have you play the next one, even though his name is Yuri. And he's like, I guess.
Yeah, like, okay, so Yuri Lowenthal played Luke from Tales of the Abyss, which was basically the Tales game that came out right before Vesperia. And then the main character of Tales of Vesperia is named Yuri Lowell. It's like so close to his name, and they were like, well, we can't have you voice him because, well, you just voiced the last main character. So that went to Troy Baker, and he does a fantastic job as Yuri. It's great.
But of course, I shall join Gaius's capable crew.
We don't want
You
you.
can fill Zhao's shoes in the Chimeriad.
Go away.
Gaius is just like, you think you can fill the shoes of a man 8 times your size?
And probably 10 times stronger.
Guess they know a winner when they see one. Phony.
Get over here, idiot.
How rude.
They're literally only taking you with them so you don't fuck it up while they're not looking.
What?
Try not to die.
Ah, yes.
Let's go.
Lovely parting words. Such Jude can no longer tether with Musette.
Yeah, I think I switched something back in that spot.
Alvin, can you lead the way? Sorry, kid. I don't know the way. Gillen and I don't really get along. It's been 20 years since I've been here.
You always fail when we need you most.
Give
Damn.
me some slack.
Oh.
Look, I'll make it up to you. When we see that Celsius chick, I'll take her down.
You said you wanted to kill Gilland.
Oh, did I?
Stop being so flip-floppy.
Well, if you do remember anything, let us know, okay?
Truth is, I'd rather not remember.
Yeah, it was probably a pretty traumatic time for him. Ending up on another planet with literally nothing. Also, remember, he wasn't flip-flopping. He was just fucking with the small child, as he does. Does Neil have Cyclone yet?
I don't know.
I did it!
Because I
She
think,
hasn't done it yet.
well, she can't do it while she's linked with you. She won't do it. Remember, while a character is linked with you, they'll only mirror your actions. I.e., if you normal attack, they will normal attack. If you do a special move, they'll sometimes do a special move.
Handy gizmo. You use it to communicate far distances.
And they especially won't cast anything. Unless you are also casting something. But as Jude, you will never cast anything, because he has no spells.
Immediately. This is immediately, people.
Sounds like Ivor got caught.
Gaius and the gang are like,
They
oh, he
would-
just got captured immediately. Oh, there's nothing he
And
not
nothing
he
of
can't fuck
value.
up the plan if he's in prison.
And nothing of value was lost that day.
Oh man.